Welcome, good people, to FYI. It is Wednesday, the 24th day of January, and we're having a good it this morning. Happy to have each and every one of you here with us. Yet another day, folks. Yet another day. Debbie Collins is here, and Evans is here as well, and we got Charlie Anderson. Two birds are here. Good to have you folks with us this morning. Johnny and Debbie and Anne and all the other folks joining us, all the various platforms. We understand that absence makes the heart grow fonder, and we were aiming at some of that this morning and becoming undone. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and we're so privileged to be here. So glad to have each and every one of you with us, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, do us that uh, distinct privilege of sharing the live and smashing that emoji button as well. What kind of a morning are you guys having this Wednesday morning? Oh, there's so much to talk about, so much to get into this morning with you beautiful folks. And of course, we'd rather do it with no other bunch of wonderful, fantastic, peace-loving, good-natured folks. Vashti Pollard, y'all know I'm the disruptor in chief, but you folks are peace-loving and good-natured, of course, and all the good stuff. We love being here with you guys to temper us, no doubt. To temper the disruptor in us. Good to have you, Clear Alexis Chamley and Loretta Argyle. Shauna Fortune, good to see you there as well. Guys, wherever you're joining us from this morning, we're nothing short of privilege. Lachman Aziz is here. Good to have you, Lachman. Pace and Power down there in Region 5 and Rosignol, all those folks joining us from Rosignol. Good morning to you folks. Sharon Mercurius is here, and Mario Bella and Sharon Eastman. All the Sharons come out this morning. Sharon Mercurius, Sharon Eastman, all the Sharons are here. Folks, we're happy to have you folks on with us, and another morning, lots to discuss. Lots to discuss with you beautiful, wonderful folks. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? We want to know. Do let us know. What are you wonderful folks having for breakfast? How was your morning started? How was your morning started, folks? It's the morning after the night before, they tell us. How was your fantastic morning started? Do let us know, folks. Do let us know. We want to know how your morning has started. Peace and power to you. You wonderful folks at your end. How are you folks doing on that side? How are you wonderful folks doing on that side? How are you beautiful folks doing on that side? Good to have all you wonderful, good-natured folks with us this morning. And we know it's another day, folks, another opportunity to make a difference. Dolly and Lyndon Gill, Maxie Monroe, Lionel, and the other folks who are joining us this morning. So much to discuss as we begin today's program. For your information, folks, for information, it's good weather outside. Another day of debate in the National Assembly on budget 2024. And, folks who we've talked to, hands down, says that the opposition has been better prepared. The parliamentary opposition has been better prepared, better articulated. Putting the arguments there, you got to make the arguments. You see, one, Ms. Cox, there in Region 6, Camille Cox says she's still in bed. You see, but like a big, I won't be like some of you. Hector and Caldeer and all the other folks joining us. Quite a few things we want to get to this morning. This whole issue of the Public Service Credit Union, the Guyana Cooperative Public Service Credit Union. Folks are telling us this court order that was issued for the incumbent office holders who are installed by this installed regime, who are installed by them, they're not complying with that court order handed down by the High Court recently in relation to their general meeting that they're supposed to be having. Letzel Pratt, Leslie Hamilton, Penelope Hudson. That's some of what we hear. They're not complying. And folks, we think that's going to spell trouble. Some of these folks aren't going to be happy until they're held in contempt and spending time behind bars. They aren't going to be contented contented until that happens. And in lots of instances, folks are doing the bidding of the PPP masters. That's what's happening here. This is a fantastic credit union, of which I'm a proud member. I should run for something. I'm a proud member of this union. So I'm invested in it. And I want to see the union go right. I just happen to believe that Mr. Ben and his team are the better bunch of folks to move the union forward. And even when the law steps in and says, PPP do X, Y, and Z, them and the underlings, the novices and neophytes, find some way to circumvent the law. And that's part of what I'm going to be talking about in my presentation in National Assembly tomorrow. That's part of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. You know, I saw the Honorable Minister Sonia Parag making her presentations in the National Assembly just yesterday, and she was so angry. She's so angry. She's an angry woman. You know? I've had the privilege of meeting lots of people from across the spectrum in this life. Beautiful people, men and women. Sonia stands out so angry, as though her birthright was taken or was about to be taken. You hear her talk about what's happening in communities, and very, very futuristic in a sense, right? Very, very much so. It's not what's happening now that we can point to and say, look what's happening here. This is the kind of model community or communities we want to see more of. You see, very aspirational. It's always very aspirational to coming soon. The folks in the South don't like what's happening with their community. See, to build a housing scheme at the back of Ogle there, Commons Lodge, the big trucks are going through South, mashing up the road there. It was not constructed for that kind of tonnage of vehicle. It was not constructed for that. She ain't gonna talk about that. These are the kind of communities we want. This is how you gotta mash up one place to build somewhere else. That's not good development. That's not good development at all. Residents there have been raising their voices, and it's good to see the city councillors who represent the constituency there, constituency 14, speaking up as well. I see Warren Figuera from the diaspora said that's his old stomping ground. Mine as well. Our old stomping ground. So the folks have been thinking about that. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. One letter right in today's paper says, comprehensive approach is needed to the Mahdia Commission of Inquiry findings. We tend to agree when we saw some of the argumentation here. And sadly, time is not going to permit us to really disaggregate, unpack some of what this letter writer said. Suffice to say that fingers were pointing, as we said in the previous broadcast, in a number of directions as against dereliction of duty. But then we saw Minister of Home Affairs absolving people. In the words of Demar Waves reporting, absolving personnel from wrongdoing. Why then did we need a whole commission of inquiry? We were still the taxpayers' money. The minister can come and, in spite of what the commission of inquiry says, folks are absolved. What's the use of the commission of inquiry? Might as well you to put the Honorable Member Robeson Ben as a one-man commission. He's already being paid. And we've gotten the same result anyhow. You see? So let's not try to waste taxpayers' money. Let's not do it. Folks, regionally, look what's happening in Haiti. The UN says that this gang wars happening in Haiti has claimed 5,000 lives in a year. That's frightening. And CARICOM continues to fail Haiti. Continues to fail Haiti. What good is CARICOM if Haiti keeps falling apart? What good is it? Folks, wherever you're joining us from this morning, do us the favor, smash that emoji button, Leslie Hamilton, Little Pratt, Debbie Collins, and Karen McPherson. Share the live for us. And we encourage as many of you as who can to partner with us as well to keep us moving on to do more programs like this. Leon Blair, Guyana nowadays, 5,000. That's what the UN is reporting to gang violence. Now, I could see the astute politicians among us, that's a whole seat. 5,000. That's an entire seat there, Leon Blair. And let comments. And that's a whole seat. 5,000 lives. But see, we've been in this pressure pot, bubbling up. That should frighten us as a region. That should frighten CARICOM into emergency meetings. But then you got all these cliques now in CARICOM, you got all these sects and besties and so on. It's not in the region. It's the I. It's the I. Every man for himself. Concern over Haiti. What's happening in Haiti there, folks? You know, is there some kind of a serial killer in places like Peroni Landing? This is locally here in Guyana. We're seeing a number of women turning up dead in these interior locations. What's going on here? Guyana Police Force, are we doing this kind of in-depth analysis to see if there's connection? There's a pattern here. Too many women turning up dead somewhere, and they tell us this morning of Venezuelan national. It's now numbered among those women. Is this something we should be concerned about here? Our women in the Hinterland region? What's going on here? Those things seem to take front page in this country. It's death and blood and mayhem, carnage. Those of you who've said it before, say it again. People of faith who are with us, Beatrice, Abira, and Horace, Ras Ricardo, lift this country before the Almighty. And our thoughts and prayers, friends and family of this young lady. Too many of our ladies are turning up like this. It's frightening to us. Frightening to us. Beatrice Selby, gotta watch that. From the folks who care. Good morning, Minister of Education, Priya Chan. Former members of the Mahdia COI, Commission of Inquiry. Parents, you remember there in Mahdia in Region 8, for the Mahdia Secondary School, there's a boys' dormitory. They got forgotten by the government. And there was a girls' dormitory. We know now, sadly, what happened at the girls' dormitory. 20 lives lost. The parents of the boys say they've been home since that fire. Over a year now, they've been home. And nobody's looking into their interest. From an education system that says it cares, that should be an indictment on the government of this country. When it served their purpose, to wheel out those children from hospital prematurely, paraded them before the cameras, a night of vigil at the Umanayana. Right? But ain't got no political currency here. Wasn't a minister attached to a child who survived? What's happening with that program? There's no political currency to be had now, and so they've gone on. And they hope that this is a forgotten issue. And I saw, folks, Debbie, Tommy, and Edward, I saw the commission echoed something we've been saying here, that on that sacred site, where those 20 young people lost their lives because the government of this country is asleep at the wheels. That should be made into a hallowed space and a monument befitting the memory of those 20 dead should be erected there. Nothing else should be on that site. Saw the commission inquiry echoing that too. Clearly, they've been watching our programs. Lionel Simon, the parents and the boys have been forgotten. They are out of school. Can you understand that? Rishi, Morna, Marlin. Marlin haven't seen in a long time. I ain't say you've been watching. I haven't seen the name. Flip up there in the comments in a little bit. Is that a government that cares? Folks, hundreds of you have joined our broadcast. We're so grateful. Why don't you take the opportunity to allow even more folks, other folks, to get valid, incredible information as well. And the folks who care, our thoughts and our prayers will continue to be with those families. They need care for a long time. Are those boys getting any kind of counseling and so on? They knew these girls. They were classmates. They've now been forgotten. Haven't gone back to school since. Ministry of Education, pre-management team, they've forgotten them. Oh, wretched country that we are. Who shall deliver us from all our unrighteousness? Oh, wretched government that this is. Forgot that no currency to be had there, no photo ops. They believe the moment is past. The government has gone on. Avon Ali, Barry Jagdeo, Ashley Singh, they've gone on with their lives. They go home to hug the kids and the family. These families here, Region 8, they're still back there every day. We're living that, going through that. 60 years old yesterday. Speak of the devil. 60 years old yesterday. Well, the folks who were there tell us, oh, you should see the opulence. You should see the Wagyu. A Wagyu for everybody. You get a Wagyu. You get a Wagyu. Sandra get a Wagyu. Wanella get a Wagyu. Who no, 60 years. If you see the galley vent, special cake flown in from Paris, I think it is, they said. Satin woven, imported from India. We catching with tail in this country, poor people. And you see the opulence. Man is driven in a vehicle worth $80 million. The latest, state of the art. Where you driving? What you had for dinner last night? What you had for breakfast this morning? That is the kind of economy we can have. We have. The rich are going to get filthy rich, stinking rich. As we say in the vernacular. Others, not so much. Happy belated. Happy 60th at our expense. Lucy Clark. And Gussie Griffith is at our expense. Happy 60th. Happy 60th. Long time gone, short time come. And on his 60th birthday, as he begins, one columnist says that a leader of glaring contradictions. Well, you got to say that. We see the news every day. We see the movements and workings of this government every day. You got to convince us. Glaring contradictions. We're going to show you some. Just a few. We're going to show you some glaring. Abira, Rastaman, Jewel Ward, clearing contradictions, Forbes Meduse, Landon Thomas, Lyndon Gill, Monica Joseph, glaring contradictions. We can get a chance to see a couple. Just a few. Speak of the other level, the poor people in this country locate for us in this $1 trillion economy. Brothers and sisters in this country, in a rough spot. I see all the time. The only difference between me and the man in the street, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who makes a difference in my life each and every day. And like you guys out there, in Him, we live and move and have our being. That's the only difference between us and the man on the pave on Regent Street. That's the only difference. This budget want to put us back there. This budget want us to be pimps and prostitutes out there. And that's why we got to come off this course. They want to stay the course. We got to come off this course. We got to come off this course. There's a course of death and carnage and destruction. We got to change course. We got to change course. So what we've been examining in budget, you see they come with all the fluff and bluff. Jilly G, thank you for that contribution. Thank you so much. I was here praying and the Lord said, boom, what? Jilly G now. Contribution. Folks, when we're live on Facebook, there is the stars feature. I think it's a dollar for 100 stars, dollar US for 100 stars. Oh. Take shame out your yeah. Take shame out your yeah. This helps to keep our programs going. On YouTube, you have the stickers feature. And GLG has just used that. Whether we on or off air on YouTube, you can contribute. I think the same is for the stars. Right? And then you know all the other ways we'll tell you a little bit later on how you can contribute to our program to keep us going. So they come in the National Assembly with all the fluff and bluff. Fluff and bluff. Oh, they're better for the economy. Oh, up to AFC didn't do anything. If you're better for the economy and we didn't do anything, how come in 2020 gold went down, gold production? By 7.8%. If you're so good for the economy. How come in 2021 gold production went down by 14.8%? If you're so good for the economy. There's no rocket science. 2022 gold production, Dexter Charles. Thank you for that contribution, Dexter. 2022 gold production went down by 2.5%. That looks like the anomaly there. And then last year, gold production went down by 11.2%. If you all are a better administration, yeah, why does the statistics look the way they are? And this is the course we must continue on. We got to change course. We're heading in the wrong direction. Mayday. Mayday. Country down. We're heading in the wrong direction. We got to change course. Gold production down in 2020, down in 2021. Gold production down in 2022, 2023. Gold production down. And you're better for this economy. And we didn't know what we're doing. Somebody fiddling with the numbers. And she said the sectors have expanded. Who fiddling with the numbers there? Finance. I know it's not that hardworking stuff. There's got to be some of these political appointees, these political hacks. Abira says oil is not forever. That's why we've been emphasizing a balance, continued investment, and good leadership in the non-oil sector. That is true stewardship of our country's resources, my God. Everything down under them boys. Look at the sectors by foreign exchange earnings. Look at the sectors by foreign exchange earnings. And it tells its own picture. Look at the sector. The various non-oil, the non-oil sector. Look at the earnings by foreign exchange. Sugar was 27 million in 2019. In 2023, it's 24 million. Timber, foreign exchange earnings, 33 million in 2019. It's 20 million in 2020. Shrimp, 76 million in 2019. Was 40 million last year. Cocaine and shrimp government. Bauxite was 127 million in 2019. 127 million foreign exchange earnings in 2019. Right? 79 last year. Bauxite, yeah. Rice, 222 million US it brought in 2019. Last year, 211. These czars, these brain bucks, and all things economic. Gold, as I said, was 876 million US earnings in 2019. 808 in 2023. 808 in 2023. Facts are stubborn things, but they're better for the economy. They're better for the economy. You see that, folks? We do our work, you know. You landed farmers, thanks to your contribution as well. But they're better for the economy. Wow. Wow. Now she wants us to stay this course. We got to change course. We're heading in the wrong direction. We're heading in the wrong direction. We got to change course. Please and thank you. We're on a good course. Just pulling some of the numbers. These are the facts. Facts, stubborn things. Right? That's some of what we've been talking about. Look at forestry. Look what's been happening with forestry. Yeah. Look what's been happening with forestry. Oh, they say this is because they're saving more forests. 2019, 93,000. Right? Logs or BMs or however they calculate it. 2020, 77. 2021, 74. 2022, 63. 2023, 31. Minister Vikram Bharat says it's because it's more value added now. They're shipping out the logs, the BMs, raw, adding value here. Please. Oh, please. Right? Please. Value added. This budget in raw form, you got to add some value there. Terribly lacking in value on that front. Terribly lacking in value on that front. And much so. Yeah. And these are some of the revelations of the good stewardship, you see. Over the last 3 years, come August 4 years. Need some value added to this $1 trillion budget. One of the things we heard, one of the things proffered, is that this Petroleum Activities Act, in this current form, it can hurt and hurting our Indigenous brothers and sisters. And we heard MP Vincent Henry made the point. It has the potential to hurt, is hurting our Indigenous brothers and sisters. But them boys care. Huh? Them boys care. Listen to the MP on his speech in the National Assembly yesterday.
Mr. Speaker, the indigenous village of Chinese Landing has been struggling for many years to regain control of Tassini, a mineral-rich area of their title land that was being mined by a certain miner without their consent. Mr. Speaker, the Chinese Landing village appealed to the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights, and the commission agreed that there were some issues and some of the rights, many of the rights of the indigenous peoples were being affected. So, an order that corrective actions be taken. The PPP government has since ordered a cease order on all mining activities in the whole of Chinese Landing, although the village had only requested that cease order for mining operations be done in Tassini. It must be noted that the indigenous peoples are allowed by law to do artisanal mining on their title lands. The move by the PPP's government to stop mining in the entire Chinese Landing is seen as a move to punish the Carib people of Chinese Landing for standing up for their rights. Also, the PPP government is now asking the ISCHR to withdraw precautionary measures granted for regards to Chinese Landing. This government here has no regard for the indigenous people. You allow them, you make sure that they cannot get monies to survive on their own, from their own lands. And now you're pointing to allow or ask the ISCHR to step away from their defense. They must be left alone to take the bashing that you want to give them. Mr. Speaker, and to continue the rights of indigenous people, I wish to bring to the nation and all that the Petroleum Activities Bill recently passed by the PPP slim majority in Parliament gives the Minister of Natural Resources and by extension the PPP supreme powers to identify areas of petroleum exploration, negotiate and allow such exploration and production in any part of Guyana. This act disregards any free prior informed consent by the affected communities. This act strikes against the fundamental rights of the indigenous peoples. On behalf of the indigenous peoples of Guyana, I ask that this act be repealed.
Yeah, that was Member of Parliament, the Honorable Vincent Henry, making the arguments there. You know, a Chinese landing, a Tassini there. It's incredible. Our indigenous brothers and sisters got millions in gold beneath their feet, but they can't determine who come and mine there. They're not even being allowed to mine there and benefit from that wealth because this install regime keeps imposing miners on them all the time. In this one Guyana, that's what people contend with on a daily basis, and hence you hear the Honorable Vincent Henry call on the government to repeal this Petroleum Activities Act, put in a select committee and let's hammer it out in a better way that protects. Why is it the government seems always against the people it should be protecting? It's the strangest phenomenon. And you see this again in where it concerns ExxonMobil frontally. Now, we got rid of Darmlal. You got some characters in there still, you know. Vicious and vile, rabid. In the National Assembly. Oh, we heckle, that's political currency, whatever it's worth. But some of them going overboard. How can you call a member of parliament a stripper? Insinuate, impute those improper motives. And you all know the kind of leadership we have in the National Assembly there. The man who sits in the chair, he never hear when it comes from across the other side. He never see their infractions. Oh, but he has an acute sense of what's going on in the parliamentary opposition benches. Why would you call a member of parliament a stripper? That's violent, reprehensible. Very, very violent, reprehensible. And as Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Amanzo was in his ear, took to the podium yesterday to make her argument. She addressed this whole issue of people being called a stripper. It's madness. Take a look.
Mr. Speaker, we have to be determined to develop a better culture in this National Assembly. Calling a female colleague of mine a stripper is unacceptable. It is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker, and it must be condemned. And I'm deeply disappointed that my female colleagues on the other side did not see it fit to upbraid their colleague whilst he abused a female member of the opposition. Mr. Speaker, but I want them to know we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you call us. You are not going to shut us up, and we will continue to be here to represent the people of Guyana. Mr. Speaker, we have
Apologies here. That was Amanda Walton Desir, the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, making the arguments we ain't going no place. It's not people call this way answer to, but they got to be respectful as well. Vicious, rabid folks on the other side there would not conform their behavior to any standard of modicum of decency. Call a member of parliament a stripper. What madness is this? That's just one of the things they say. Fire Nation, folks. Fire Nation. A lot of things come out when you scrutinize the national budget. You interrogate the estimates. A lot of things come out. We learned the fire service received 4,000 calls. The fire service, 4,000 calls last year. Now, about 13 of us in this country. 4,000 calls last year. You know, it's when they came to the National Assembly 2 months ago for another supplemental to spend. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Ben, told us about this alarming amount of fires we've had. We know it was an alarming amount. But we had the admission. Listen to what he said in that occasion of the supplementary appropriations. I think it was in December. What he said about these fires.
We had, in terms of grass fires, 807 grass and rubbish fires countrywide, 6,140 ambulance calls for the year so far, 510 building fires were recorded year to date. We had, in terms of grass fires, 807 grass and rubbish fires countrywide, 6,140 ambulance calls for the year so far, 510 building fires were recorded year to date. We have.
Yep, that was Minister Robeson Ben. We are a troubled nation. 500 fires. Anything standing? Any building stand? 500 fires. 4,000 calls to the fire service. What's happening in this country? Like we live extra close to the sun, things just could combust. What's happening in this country of ours? I know we got some bright folks who join us every morning. Y'all may know what's happening in this country. Out front part, you seem to have a good take on things. Rihanna Mingo, Abira, Dennis Samuel, what's happening in this country of ours? Veronica Primo Rollins, Elizabeth Norine, in transit somewhere in the world at the moment, Raymond Norine, what's happening in this country? Antolia, what's going down in this country? It's Fire Nation. Fire Nation. Well, listen to what he said. Listen to what the Minister of Home Affairs said about this increased fires in the National Assembly just yesterday. Take a listen.
In respect of the Guyana Fire Service and coming out of the total issues of COVID, we have had great challenges. The great challenges relate to a larger number of fire calls. In 2022, we had 1,480 calls. In 2023, 4,181 calls, a 182% increase in calls relating to responses to fire. We have had, along with it, complete damages of buildings, businesses, motor cars, government properties, and so on. We have had the great sorrow of the tragic event at Mahdia, where we lost 24 young people. And those young people come mainly from the most stressed part, quality of our Guyanese people, our indigenous community.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. In live and live in color. There you have it. They come back now for more money for fire prevention. 5 biggest budgets ever. But we don't have a good handle and grasp in anything at all. By their own admissions, they don't have a grasp on it. Said investments to boost fire prevention catered for in budget 2024. You sure? You told us the same the last time, but that ain't going so well for us. Based on all we've seen there, that isn't going so well for us. I think there should be a greater, we believe there should be a greater emphasis by ministers and the actual portfolio. A greater emphasis. But again, like calling people strippers and prostitutes and so on in the National Assembly, right? Saying who needed dildo and all manner of things. Invariably, we see now people dragging family members in. This used to be like the third rail. You know, the one that got the electricity, you touch it, it can shock you. And people never brought your family into talk about your wife and your children. And Minister Sonia Prague seemed hurt. I just want to say, whatever we did, I apologize. Whatever we did to hurt Sonia Prague, we apologize. Right? I never asked no contract to get charged. You're vexed. I apologize, man. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Why are you assaulting people and so on, man? It's only fair the law should apply to all. What we do, I'm sorry. I apologize. Minister Prague is angry. Always angry. A minister is given 30 minutes to lay out the vision. Now, these numbers in the budget is attached to. Minister Prague is still in the battle for the 2020 general and regional elections. She's still there in that mode. In the last 3 minutes, actually, after she was given an extra 5 minutes, you're given 30 minutes to present ministers and shadow ministers, and then you have 5 minutes extra you can have. In her extra 5 minutes, in the last 3 or 2 minutes, she's stuck in something there about the ministry. Ambitious plans in the pipeline. Tell South Rheinfeld. Battling with the big trucks. Tell them. But his ambitious plan is always aspirational. It's never, look what's happening here and now. All of our time. You know. We apologize, you know. You were born into the PNC and then you went elsewhere. We apologize. Whatever is hurting you, we apologize. Let me be the first to say it. The minister was almost foaming at the mouth. What is this? We need some medical intervention shortly. The minister is going to need some intervention shortly. The minister on our feet yesterday in the National Assembly.
The Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development is crucial in promoting democracy in this country, and a word that I have heard the honorable opposition members repeat over and over in their speeches, although some of those honorable members would have participated fully from the 2nd of March 2020 to the 2nd of August 2020 in holding this, in trying to collapse our democracy and holding our people hostage and suffering an entire nation for 5 months, which I am certain they will never, ever forget. And I do not believe that members who would participate in something like that, and I will steal this line, take this line from the my honorable colleague, Minister Indar, speech before, does not deserve even to be in opposition, to be representing any portion of the Guyanese people after you have so callously and so cruelly hold our country up in the air and put our entire country to shame globally. So, Mr. Speaker, in the allocations of over $103 billion spanning not only the Ministry of Local Government, but also the regions from Region 1 to 10, we will ensure that the local democratic organs, such as the NDCs and the municipalities, are properly allocated their subventions to ensure that democracy continues in the communities of this country. And the speaker who will come after me, I know, I will want to say certain things in relation to friends, families, and cronies too. But me being the representative for this government in the Mocha Arcadia community knows that the NDC in 2017 issued that member's husband contracts to develop the community, and that is also with friends, families, and cronies coming for the previous administration.
Come with Speaker.
And I will provide a proof if I have to.
Is that a fact? Come with Speaker, standing order 41-6. The honorable is imputing improper motive on the part of the member's husband.
I'm stating a fact.
Yeah, but it's Minister, I'll apply the same principle that we just so withdraw that and let's move on.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
That's how it went down there. Everything got thrown in the whole thing. The husband, the grandmother, the dog, the cat, the fowl. Nothing was off limits. Nothing is sacred anymore. Yeah. And that was one of the better excerpts. In other programs, we're going to show you the minister in action, foaming at the mouth, feral, rabid. We took a little descent, boy. Fast and furious. We took a little descent. Fast. Fast and furious. Somebody said, see me at Jack your birthday party. Y'all send the photographs, man. See me at Jack your birthday. Y'all send the photographs. Oh, please and thank you. Send me the photograph. I had Jack your birthday. And I rather every minister foaming at the mouth to offer some medical attention. Medical attention. Right? So the massive cop says she riding a wild, she was like riding a wild bull. Oh yes. Community development for you. Community development, the husband, the grandmother, nothing was happening. The children, the dog, the parrot, the macaw, the parakeet, everything. The whole species, everything, nothing was off limits. That's part of what part of went down, folks, yesterday. I know we should have plugged this one out the day before for you. But I think it's important, right? Like Sonia Hart, I heard too what they're doing to UG, University of Guyana, my alma mater. I read for Industrial Relations and Management, first at UG, and I passed. I'm happy to announce, graduated. And then I read Communication Studies, passed too. You know, I'm not shocked some of you there, passed too. Then I went on to read law. Yeah. Not some struggles there, won't lie. Crawl to the finish line. You know, I got to do the law in 3 years. I was making sure I didn't have to go back for extra course, extra year, extra nothing at all. Graduated within the specified time. And then I went back to read for my master's. Well, this where I got the struggle now because took a leave of absence. I got to finish up. Took a leave of absence to take on these guys, foaming at the mouth, rabid and feral. You know, I don't like what they're doing to University of Guyana. I said all that to say I'm invested in what happens there, what goes down there. General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, Greta MacDonald, Member of Parliament, was making the point if this goal, funding, they want to give to goal, the allocation, was given to UG, how much more we could make UG a world-class institution. But, you know, the people don't want to hear that. They would rather be there, you know, trying to undermine the University of Guyana. They rather that course of action. Because, of course, it's Forest Burnham University. It's them boys' school. You know, they talk, but they don't walk the walk on education at all. Here's some of what the General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, Member of Parliament, Greta MacDonald said on this issue of UG and how the wicked.
The government, Mr. Speaker, has pushed to online education. The government's push to online education should be coupled with the development of the university. The two objectives can be combined. On one hand, we can develop UG and at the same time move to online learning. It is unacceptable that the university's funding is now equal to an academy of learning that is under direct political direction. This would have been the perfect opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to fund the University of Guyana and make it into a world-class institution. As there is no monitoring and evaluation of the Gold Scholarship Program, our research has uncovered major issues with the Gold Program. Nobody knows where the ranking...
So you'll have to wrap up in half a minute.
Mr. Speaker, why would the government throw $4 billion to a program without a report that answers the concerns of our students? Mr. Speaker, Budget 2024 is funneled and fixed between the Treasury and the pockets of friends, families, cronies, and flatterers of the People's Progressive Party to allow the oil money to flow into a small circle without a single drop of the oil money escaping to reach the people at the bottom of the society. In its current state, Mr. Speaker, I cannot support this.
Yeah, thank you, MP MacDonald, putting it in context for us. There's not one Guyana, it's one circle. It's one circle. UG could be well on the way of becoming a world-class university. But they don't care about that. They don't like the systems. Go lang got no academic board, ain't got no faculty rep. no student government. And they don't want that. You got the man heading it who supervised even at the PhD, quote unquote. The man who gave a funny doctorate, you got that fella. That's all necessary. You don't need academic board. And what's the one above academic board? I used to be part of that. The council, you got no, usually council is the highest decision-making body. When I was student president, I was a member of the council, member of the academic board. None of that. Faculty was a faculty. Huh? Was a faculty. This is one that we saw also. One that we saw also mentioned. Right? One that we saw also mentioned. Out there. Right? That we show you now. This is one we saw also mentioned there. Folks, give us a quick sec, and we're gonna be right back. We apologize, dear folks. So this is one we saw. Apologies there. We had to attend to a technical issue very quickly. This is one of those issues that we saw yesterday and even covered yesterday in yesterday's program. But we thought the unique way in which the headline was crafted today was quite interesting. And Christopher Jones, the parliamentary opposition chief whip, was talking of how Parliament is so dysfunctional. Lots of committees in the National Assembly, like the Security Committee, has never met once. In 3.5 years, going on 4 years, has never met once. And Kaitron News makes the point they've been in a 4-year coma. Love that characterization. They've been in a 4-year coma. That's what's happening on that front. A 4-year coma. The government cares about the people of this country. Why is government defending tooth and nail Exxon and the parent company guarantee that if you have an oil spill, it's paid for by Exxon, not the Guyanese people, to dip in the little funds we have? Why is the government fighting on this? Stakeholders, citizens have been asking, show us that Exxon has complied with the High Court's decision on this matter, that they must procure a $2 billion guarantee or a $2 billion insurance. And that's at the lower end. Why are they fighting to defend Exxon on this? And they care about this country. The same folks who said they would renegotiate the 2016 production sharing agreement, the 2016 PSA, fighting, defending ExxonMobil with your taxpayers' dollar and mine. And this was one of the things that was focused on Chairman of the People's National Congress Reform and Member of Parliament, the Honorable Sherwin Holder. If they're patriotic, what are they doing? What are they doing? As a matter of fact, he says, that's unpatriotic. Take a listen to what he said.
Mr. Speaker, our oil and gas industry is constantly in a state of turmoil because the government has demonstrated that it is unpatriotic and incompetent in equal measure. It is with utter disgust that I rise now to address an existential issue for our oil industry. The government's refusal to provide proof of Exxon US $2 billion parent company guarantee in the event of an oil spill, as first ordered by Justice Prasad, risks putting our entire country in jeopardy.
While the case on full liability coverage is being decided, this parent company guarantee served as one of Guyana's first defense in the event of an oil spill. More than that, however, what patriotic government, comrade speaker, would refuse to provide evidence that Guyana is in a safer position, especially after the court has ordered that this document be established. This demonstrates a lack of respect for the judicial process and a woeful disregard for transparency and accountability. For Vice President Jagdeo to claim that he has no say in ensuring the EPA provides this document, and to say the position, to take the position that there is no obligation to provide it in the course of this court case, is equally troubling. He claims that his government believes in transparency and accountability, but at every turn they demonstrate that their real loyalty is to secrecy. Mr. Speaker, we saw the government join with Exxon to appeal a decision handed down by Justice Samuel Kissoon that the operator provide full liability coverage, including a parent company guarantee. We labeled that action what it was, unpatriotic. We reiterate now the importance of a parent company guarantee as well as oil spill insurance so that Guyana does not bear the brunt of an oil spill's cost if we are unfortunate enough to face one. The government is rushing ahead, comrade speaker, approving development after development without safeguarding the interests of the Guyanese people. This practice must stop. Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Unpatriotic, MP Sherwin Holder says. Unpatriotic. We can't interfere with Exxon not wanting to show the parent company guarantee that you and I didn't show that they have something happening out there. We don't have to bear the brunt of the cleanup for Trinidad and Barbados and whoever else. It's madness, folks. It's madness. That's going to do it for us at this end. Thank you so much for joining us. Maureen, I see we have Maria here as well. Maureen, Maria, all the M's. Maxine, and then we go on to Rastaman, Yonida, Mona, is it? Yonida, Mona, Edward Brooms. I'm going to have all of you guys here with us this morning. Thank you for those who've contributed to our program while we were live. Jilly G and Dexter Charles and Yolanda Thomas. Ringing that bell for y'all. Ringing it. Thanks for joining the broadcast this morning, each and every one of you. Y'all could have been so many other places. Go ahead and have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. If you haven't done so yet, share the live before you go. Those of you coming back to watch us, share it as well. And folks, smash that emoji button. Drive up that algorithm that tells the system there, YouTube and Facebook and other places, you know, valid, credible information. Hey, come watch. Help us to get it out to more folks and partner with us as well, as we've said. Have a fantastic day to the Narines who are traveling on. Travel safe. Antonia and Raman and Elizabeth and all the other folks traveling today. Be safe out there, especially on the roads in Guyana. If that's your route to travel, please be safe out there. Good. Heading back to the National Assembly, folks. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe. That's our time. That's our program.